Welcome to GLS Carriers Presents Team Talk. I'm Ken Cox, and I learned turkeys are dumb. Today I've got Francis Ham, Kenny Kuntz, and we are
Drivers for Drivers.
Danny's back behind the scenes.
Hello.
Today we've got SMS. We talked about a job fair, birthdays. We had a question a couple weeks ago about the Western Day parade and its origin. We'll answer that, or at least try to. Talk about trailers, some trucks, some business stuff. So we'll dive into it with a happy birthday to William Malden.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, bud.
Does he go by Billy?
Billy, I don't think I've ever called him Billy. I'm afraid he'd hit me.
That's right.
I'm sensitive and cry.
All right. Well, William, happy birthday.
I'm going to dive into SMS scores. Super excited about them. Unsafe driving dropped a point from 53 to 52. Hours of service from 60 to 58. But really, vehicle maintenance. You guys have knocked it out of the park and have done really, really good from 21 to 12.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Can't believe it. You guys are doing the pre-trips right. You guys are making sure that we know what the issues are. We've been getting them taken care of. So huge thank you to you guys for doing the right stuff out there and getting that done. It's showing. That's less time in the DOT way stations.
And not to mention the appreciation from our customers as well.
Yes.
You know, because they look at that every time we look at an RFP. You know, they're looking at our safety numbers and everything that the team's doing out there to drop those scores. It's amazing and very, very much appreciated.
We have gone, and I don't want to put this out there because I'm going to have to knock on wood, but we've gone 74 days without an incident.
Awesome.
So that's, again, you guys are just doing an amazing job out there. I can't thank you enough on that.
You're making him look good.
Yeah, right. keep it up. You guys are doing a fantastic job. So then the question a couple weeks ago was how Western Days Parade and its origin. Okay, I've had a couple people answer that. Jake Burgoyne went above and beyond. Didn't do just a Google search. I believe he called Chamber of Commerce and asked them. And they didn't really know. And they were so to answer that question is not really, it's not, black and white.
Sure.
So what Jake came up with was it's a celebration to honor our first responders, our fallen and that kind of stuff. I don't know if that's 100% accurate or not. I can't find the answer.
Well, it definitely was accurate for the theme for this year.
This year for sure.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, that was really cool.
Well, in the Western days, they just shot each other. So there was a lot of falling back then.
Yeah, absolutely. And then this last weekend, Friday, went out to a job fair at CDS Truck School. Didn't have a huge turnout because of the rain, but we had a few drivers come through. It's something cool that they do. They do a lot of cool things, but something cool that they do is 100% lifetime job placement.
Great.
So if you go through their school, a lot with if you Top Gun Academy will do the same, or Sage Tech, they'll do the same. If you go through their school, at any point in time that you want to find another trucking job, they've got tons of carriers that they've partnered up with, and they can recommend depending on what you want to do. Let's say you want to do just like sugar beets, right? Or you want to do over the road or regional or local. They can pair you up with local companies or over the road companies, and they've got a 96% job placement satisfaction.
Great.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
They'll do grants, they'll do scholarships, that kind of stuff, nights and days. They start a class every Monday. You can get your A, B, C endorsements, bus, dump truck through CDS here in town. I think they've got a bunch of campuses, Washington and around, and they also have a truck simulator. So like with the ITA, They have a mobile simulator they take around to high schools and events to, get that bug into this next generation that's coming up. I mean, I don't want to call it a computer game because it's not. I mean, it's super, super expensive to maintain and to put together. But you're sitting there and you've got full screens in front of you. You've got a Freightliner dash. You can run an automatic, or they've got, I think, up to 18 speeds. I mean,
Wow.
10, 13, 8, I don't know numbers. They're hard. But you can sit there, and they've got different scenarios. I mean, they've got scenarios where you're just doing mountain passes. You're doing city driving. You're getting in an accident. They've got all kinds of different stuff. Really kind of neat to get on to hone your skills, if you will. Those of you that have not been in, had your CDL for years, got out of it because you tried different things, and then you want to come back to it, they do refresher courses, so you can do that. And then that refresher course combined with your skill set from years past, allows you to be eligible for our purposes. We're kind of tied down by insurance restraints.
Sure.
And we're kind of working through that. We're trying to put together a program to where, we can bring on new drivers, but there's a lot that's involved with that, and I don't see that happening this year, but it's something that we are looking into, taking care of.
I think it would be really cool if they had a simulator where you're being attacked by ninjas, like while you're driving. Like I saw a show the other day where, because you never know when that'll happen.
Right?
Yeah, somebody trying to push you off the road.
Do they still have ninjas?
They probably don't.
I seen a deal in California about the going between the cars thing
Yeah.
and
Splitting
how
lanes.
dangerous
Yeah.
that is. I guess those are kind of ninjas.
A little bit, yeah. Motorcycle
They sound
ninjas.
like ninjas.
So let's dive into business.
You bet.
You just got back from Carthage.
I did. I spent last week down in Missouri and in Joplin and Carthage and Webb City and Neosho, and we kind of toured around. Went down there and hooked up with our new operations manager. Danny, if you could put the picture up, this is Jason Manis, and great addition to the team. Really enjoyed spending some time with him. Drove around. He showed me a lot of warehouses, potential customer locations, things of that nature. So I got a real good feel of the area that way. We made a big list while we were down there driving around. There's some pictures that we took of our property. If you could throw those up too, Danny, there's been a lot of progress down there. Topsoil is still on the ground. We've actually got it piled up on our neighbor's property down there. We talked to them, and they said that was fine if we could put it there, but it's got to dry out. And then right when I left, it had another downpour down there, So it's been a challenge with the weather this year. But in the pictures, you can see how the lot's coming along. The hill is all knocked down now. That's completely done. The pad for future expansion phase 2 for the building, that's completely in. So that's done now. And then the only thing that we're waiting on is the retention pond. Naturally, you want to put the retention pond in the bottom where all the water's flowing. But because of the weather we're having, it's a mud hole. So we've got to.
The whole lot's of retention.
That's right. So we've got to wait for it to dry up a little bit and then get down there and get that dug and get it put into place, But it's really, really looking good. Like it. We did secure some parking. Some truck and trailer parking. So if we have anybody that joins the team that lives down there and looking for a place to park in the interim until such time as we can get on our property, we did secure some parking down there. So there's no issue there. We've got good ample room for truck and trailer parking. So that's great. And then on business-wise, when we came back with that list, we immediately started calling customers, and talking to them. And so we've got some great leads going on right now there. And I believe we've got 2 new customers we're hauling for right now. One as of even yesterday that's down there. But how are those coming along, Kenny?
The one we did pick up down there, we already are doing a load for him, First, I'd like to tell Jason, appreciate you, welcome aboard. Pleasure to have you. Plus, we have some dedicated customers up in this area too that are really starting to come on. A lot of the drivers we have now are probably seeing a lot more of that freight, which is a good sign. We've been waiting for this to happen, and it's finally coming
around.
fruition.
Fruition, yeah.
coming
Close
to fruition.
enough.
Yeah, that's right.
With these new customers and stuff coming on, what are you seeing with rates? Are they still, we're still really low, like typically, but are they rates coming up?
Brokered freight's, I don't think is going to come back real quick. It's going to be a slow, sluggy roll in. But with dedicated customers, we bid it accordingly. We want it. So, way better than brokered freight for sure.
Than it was. That's good. That's good news.
And I'll answer to that too. The conversations that we're having with these dedicated customers, that we're setting up with, they say it right off the bat too. They're looking for a partnership, and really is what they want. When they're looking at a carrier that's coming in, they want to understand, where do you run, where your team goes to. They want to know what your safety is, if you're a safe carrier, and how you stack up as far as that goes. And then when it comes to rates, they really want a partner in it. So when the markets are going high and then they're dropping down low, they really don't recognize that. They know what they've got to move their product to market for. And if you can do it in those perimeters, they'll keep you rolling. That's their interest. They don't want to lose a carrier or anything like that. And then we don't want to lose a customer either. So if we can stay competitive and stay right there, they'll be competitive with us as well. So they'll be with us in the high times. They'll be with us in the low times. So it's a great partnership. And I think that's what we need to be a healthy company and keep our trucks and drivers and owner operators all running and be successful.
Yeah, they don't do a lot of focus on rate, more focus on reliability, communication, safety. Those are more important, I think. I think you could blow it out of the water with them, and then you're not going to get the business. You got to have a equal playing field.
Yeah.
And they realize that.
No.
Synergy.
Yeah, absolutely. And customer service. It's all about customer service. There's just thousands of trucking companies out there, and what sets them apart. And I think it's the safety where we measure up against everybody else, and then our customer service. What can we provide for our customer that they need?
On-time deliveries, on-time pickups.
Yep. Yep. Absolutely. That makes a huge, huge difference. And what we've got going on right now is great. We've got a team that's doing a great job right now, and hats off to you guys. I really appreciate it.
So I've got a few trucks sitting in the yard. Some of those are the internationals, and years past, internationals maybe not have had the best reputation. We've got a couple drivers out with these internationals right now.
Let me add to this a little bit. I got last month's MPG report. Albert Rodriguez, congrats. Top MPG for last month at 7.53.
Ooh.
That is
That's ridiculous.
a mile per gallon more than any other truck we have in the fleet. And with that, he's in one of those internationals. He ran 14,600 miles last month at 7.53. It's amazing.
It is. That is amazing. What those are Cummins engines in those trucks? Is that right?
Cummins engines. If I was in trucking and seeing that type of MPG, and he hauls the same weighted loads as the rest of them, but when I'm looking at it, about the same mileage. When it comes to the gallons, he used 1,900 gallons for that 14,000. I come down to somebody else. He actually ran The same amount of gallons, but 2,000 miles more. Yeah, so Howard actually ran 2,000 miles more on them gallons. That's huge.
Oh, it's
2,000
Yeah.
times what? What's the rate right now? 340, 350?
yeah, that's huge.
Well, not only that, on the fuel savings is, that's a whole trip to Greensboro, that he got for the same amount of fuel. Yeah, that's huge. So
That's
anyone
thousands
that's
a month extra.
interested in one of those
Yeah,
internationals,
we could put you in those. That's easy enough.
Yeah,
we've got 3 left.
Yep, I got 3 sitting there.
They are 2024s.
They are.
So they brand new. There's some money savings there.
Yep.
Yep.
Kicking the pants to drive. I dropped a trailer off of one of our customers not too long ago. I think that was Wednesday of last week. And I used the International to do it because I've never been in the International. And I was like, well, let's try this out, right? Let's see what this is about. I enjoyed it. I thought it was fun to drive. It, comfortable enough. It was roomy. Yeah. One feature that it has that I kind of liked and didn't really, think it'd be a feature, but you put it in reverse, the radio will turn off. So you can concentrate on reversing. You back up, drop your trailer, you put it back into drive, turns it right back on, and off you go. So
Yeah,
I
that's
thought,
cool.
I don't know, it's
I'm more into the APU being
electric.
electric.
Yeah.
Nothing's running.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool. You got air conditioning, heating, all your electronics are still working, and it'll go hours and hours and hours running all of that until, the batteries are a little bit depleted. The truck will turn on, charge those batteries back up. And we can even put solar panels on the top to help, trickle charge those batteries that are back there on the catwalk.
and I believe, those are separate batteries from the operations batteries of the power unit itself.
They asked
Yep.
4 separate batteries.
I believe it's 4. Yeah.
Yeah. The only downfall that I've heard about it is they got a little bit smaller of a refrigerator.
They do. A little bit tiny. But there's still roomy.
But still roomy.
Still roomy.
I fit in it.
That's right. That's right. And I would encourage our guys that are coming through. We've got brand new ones sitting right there in the yard. I think talk to us and take a look at them.
Yep.
Climb up in them, see what they're like. I agree. It's they're really some pretty decent trucks, and you're seeing more and more of them out on the roads too. But then again, with fuel mileage like that, you're going to see a bunch more of them out on the road.
Yeah,
I
that's
would
just
think so.
amazing.
Yeah, that's great. That's great.
They had leather seats too, didn't they?
Yeah. Leather seats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, anyone interested, let Ken know. If you want to drive one around the yard or something, check them out. They're sitting over there.
Ken, do we have some newer Freightliners as well?
We do. We've got a couple 22s sitting, and we have some 23s sitting.
Okay.
And so we've got some with these new dedicated customers coming on. We have some regional work. And so if you guys are out there and you're listening and you're like, hey, I want to be kind of, western part of the United States, we can do that for you for right now. And then if you want to be in the Midwest, we can do that as well. So yeah, let us know what you want to do. We can get you in, out of the truck that you're in into something newer. You have better fuel mileage, newer obviously, and so your warranties are still going to be great. I just let us know.
I will throw in there, it doesn't matter where you live.
Yep.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah. So don't let that stop you from applying.
Yep. And we're also with the new customers that we've got in the Midwest. We're looking also for regional drivers in the Midwest that basically can run from Texas on up into Illinois and Wisconsin, Minnesota, and back through that area. So we're looking at that, and then there's always that option of running the southern states as well. You can run from Kentucky, Tennessee, and south of there. And those lanes are all there. So anybody that's listening that would like to join on with the team, we'd sure love to have you. And we've got equipment available. We probably bring you up here to Idaho and get you through orientation and whatnot, get you into a truck and into a trailer, get you under a load and get you back home. And then from there, we'll just dispatch you, from home and keep you running in the Midwest.
glscarriers.com, fill out the full driver's app, and there you go.
Yep.
Speaking of trailers, when you drop a trailer off at the yard, it needs to be cleaned out and it needs to be full of fuel. Out of the trailers we have sitting there, I have one that was dropped off that way. The rest of them are dirty and not quite full on fuel. So let's take care of that. So the next driver that picks that up is good to go. He can just hop in and go.
Let me add a little bit to that too. With a lot of these new customers we got drop trailers going into these places as well, and we don't want a drop trailer going in there that's dirty, that they can't load, got a flat tire or something, and they're not going to load it. Then we got an issue, So anyone dropping and hooking, let's just make sure everything's in tip-top shape. If it's not, let's get it repaired and before we drop. That's a good way to lose a customer as well.
Yeah, a customer and common courtesy to the rest of the team. One of the nice things about having a drop trailer program, when you run into your customer location, your trailer's already loaded. So you're dropping an empty, you're not wasting any time, you're back onto revenue. You're hooking up and going. And you have to have that same common courtesy, not only to meet customer requirement, but you've got another member of our team that's coming in behind you that's going to grab that trailer, and it needs to have fuel in it. It needs to have tires all up. It needs to be in good operating shape and clean for them to be able to grab it and go. So,
plus the downtime they got to spend, how would they feel if they had to pick one up in that condition as well. So think of that when we're dropping trailers. That would be very helpful.
Neat.
We got new trailers, I believe.
Yeah, got some new trailers sitting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Danny.
Yeah.
Ask us a question.
I'm glad that you asked. I was wondering that I wanted to know how much gas does the trailers hold?
They don't run on gas, Danny.
Are the trailers? Do the trailers also use
They run
diesel?
on fuel, Danny.
Oh, whatever. That's what I meant. Fuel. What? So how much? I mean, the drivers already know this. This is just for me. I was just wondering how much. Is it like a 20-gallon tank?
I think our 25-gallon tanks.
yeah.
I mean, I've ran reefers that have had 50-gallon and 100-gallon tanks, but for our purposes and what we do, we run 25-gallon tanks.
Okay.
Just adds a lot of weight for them 50 gallons, but they get really good mileage or hours
Yeah.
on these new reefers. I mean, amazing. They can run on continuous for 2.5, 3 days straight. That's unheard of in the old SB 1s and 2s.
Yeah.
Filling up every day.
Yeah, I think you got two parts there. You got more efficient engines and stuff on the reefers. But then again, look at these trailers. They got thin wall insulation and stuff, but the R value in them is 10 times what the trailers used to be. You can put a load in one of these trailers, and that unit doesn't work near as hard as it used to in the older trailers, where that unit was just hammering away. I'm sure you guys remember trying to go to bed or something. You laid back in the bunk, and it's like, I'll never get to sleep. It was just terrible. But you don't have a lot of that anymore, so that's good.
I do have one more question. I was wondering, is there any immediate needs to fill any lanes that we have? I know you and I had talked a little bit about this the other day, Francis. But is that something that we might want to throw out there?
Yes, immediate. We've got regional lanes right now that are open in the Oregon, Idaho, Missouri area. Now, if a person's in Wisconsin, we can sure bring them on and run them into some of that regional stuff as well. Those are some of the big areas that we're running through. Or if you draw a line in between any of those states, you can live anywhere in between there, and we can run you on those lanes and get you back home. And you'll get home as much as you need to be back home in a regional operation.
We could probably use a local guy as well if anyone is looking for local work in either the Carthage or the
Carthage
Idaho area, But as much as we got coming on, we could keep a guy busy.
Yep.
Safety topic?
Safety topic for this week. I guess I'll talk about experience at the Carthage yard. So when we got out there, getting out of the vehicle and walking around, it was dry up on the top side, but places super muddy and dirty. And when you go back and you get into the rental vehicle, which is what I had, it caked mud all over the place and in the pedals and stuff like that. And people really don't appreciate that kind of stuff.
No.
So, I would say be cautious of your surroundings. We still are having a ton of rain. We had a ton of rain and flooding all around town here just recently. I think if you're tracking stuff back into your vehicle like that, especially mud and stuff, and it's on your pedals, it could sure affect whether you're braking or not. Your foot could slide off of a pedal. So I would say be cautious of that and make sure that you clean your feet. A lot of guys used to have those brushes on their steps. Remember that? You could clean your shoes off and stuff before you'd get into the truck. And I would highly recommend something like that, or just be very cautious of it. Try to clean off what you can, stay as clean as you can so that your pedals don't get slippery on you.
Perfect.
Well, your steps too, even in rain. I've actually had a few scrapes on the back coming off steps that were slick. Yeah, so just be careful getting in and out and stuff. Don't step on a nail.
Don't step on a nail. Tiny rocks.
Small pebbles.
Small pebbles. Danny, do you have anything you'd like to add?
No, I appreciate it. Tune in next week for even more great stuff.
Kenny?
Nope, I'm good.
Francis, departing words?
Just, I try to thank everybody every week. And again, this week, we talked about a lot of good things that are happening. Safety scores, it's amazing. Really appreciate that. Got some great fuel mileage going on. That's helping. That's definitely helping our owner-operators, company drivers, things of that nature. That's all good stuff. Thank you for everything that you're doing. Very, very much appreciate it.
Appreciate it, guys.
Thank you.
Yeah, keep sending pictures and stuff too. We love seeing the things that you guys are seeing out there on the road.
Absolutely. And then, as we end this episode, we want to thank you. I want to thank you for being safe and making the right choices. Remember, your eyes and ears on the road. If you see something, say something. Remember, we all succeed when you arrive safely home with your loved ones.
Thank you.
See ya.